Hello guys, so today we are going to learn how to properly make a short, how to properly measure and cut your short. So first of all, you have to consider some basic things. The basic measurements you're supposed to take, like your waist, your hip, your lap, your crotch, and your bottom. The bottom is where the short will start and stop. That is from the waist down to wherever the short is going to stop. So right now, I just placed my fabric on the table into two fold. I placed it on fold. So the first thing you should consider before measuring is the biggest part of your client's body, which is the lap. So you measure the lap and you divide it by 2. Then that is how you know the amount of fabric you're supposed to use. So when you divide it by 2, then you add your 2 inches seam allowance. You now know the amount of fabric, the quantity of fabric you should fold in order not to waste your fabric. Then you take into consideration the weight, the length of your short, just like I did here, minus 1.5 from the basic line to wherever the short is going to stop. My client's full length is 20 plus 2 inches seam allowance, so I'm going to be measuring 22, just like you're seeing on your screen. So now I'm going to measure from 1.5. So no, why I'm minusing 1.5 is I'm going to be adding my waistband. So that waistband, if I don't minus 1.5, the crotch is going to be too high for my clients. So I will minus the 1.5 because I'm going to be adding waistband. So from the 1.5, I will trace my full length, which is 22. Then I also trace my crotch. From the 1.5, my crotch is 11.5. So from my 1.5, that's on the basic line, I will also mark 10 as my client's hip. 10 is going to be considered, hip is going to be considered while measuring a short, because without hip, you might make a mistake and then you go and sew something bigger or something too tight that cannot enter your client. So from the basic line, I will minus 1 inch on the edge because it's a female short, and I'm going to make it such a way it will have fit for my client. So from that 1 inch I minus, you trace it down to your hip. You trace it down to your hip. Then from there, I measured my client's waist, which is 9 inches. Now I'm measuring my client's hip, which is 45 divided by 5. Sorry, 45.5 divided by 4. It will give me 11.5. So after that, I now took the measurement of my client's lap. That's on the crotch. It's on the crotch we take the measurement of the lap, which is 26 divided by 2 is 13 plus 2 inches seam allowance 15. So that's it. Now I just took measurement of my hip. That's 11.3. 45.5 divided by 4, 11.3. Then on the bottom, I'm going to be measuring 12 inches. So from that 15 for the lap, I'm going to be measuring down 12. So you see it, I just marked it. So right now you're going to be seeing, you'll be understanding what we are doing. For the beginners, for those who have never seen where a short is being cut, this is how it is. So here now it's starting to make sense right now. So on the waist, after measuring the 9 inches, I'll add 1.5 inch seam allowance. Sorry that you're not seeing it. It was after recording that I discovered that it wasn't really showing well. Sorry about that. So from that 1.5, and I'll trace it down to the crotch. Voila, our short is ready. That's the front piece of the short. Mind you, this is the front piece of the short. So now I just covered my hands because the scissors is giving me knuckles. 5 years doing this job is not an easy thing. So the scissors is always giving me dark knuckles, always giving me some faults on my hands. So that's why I always place some materials to cut my short. As you can see, I'm already cutting it. Whatever fabric I'm cutting, I always use that on my hands so that as to maintain my hands. At least let me manage the one I have. So I'm now cutting out the excess materials, the ones that are not needed. I'm cutting them out. So the 1/2 inch I added, the 1 inch I added on the, I minused on the waist part and traced it to the hip. I'm just cutting it out. Now I'm going to divide the front piece of the shirt for you to understand it properly. As you can see, we've cut the front piece of our shirt, and I just marked it in order to trace the front piece from the back piece so that to differentiate it. That's it. So onto our back piece, you still place your fabric on fold. You place your fabric on fold, then you pick that front piece and now place on that fabric that you've placed on fold. You place it properly so that you can begin to trace your back piece to match your front piece. You won't cut exactly the same thing. It's going to look alike, but it's going to be a bit bigger and a bit different from the front piece. Now, on that edge from the crotch part, I'm going to measure 1.5. As you can see it, I measure 1.5. So I'm going to trace that 1.5 to the waist of the front piece. Just watch, you're going to see I'm going to do it right now. Then I'm going to add another 1.5 to the front of the crotch. That is, it is the back piece I am measuring right now. I'm not touching the front piece. So 1.5, you trace 1.5 down to where the crotch starts. So that is it. The same thing goes on the lap. So you mark it. So that is it. Our back piece is ready. So I'm going to wear my gloves now, or wear my protector gloves, and then start cutting it out. So with this, our shirt is like almost ready. So after this, I'm going to be cutting our pockets, the waistband, and also the zip flap. As simple as that. There's nothing hard about this. So next is the pocket. I'm going to be cutting the pocket. So I'm going to be measuring the full length of the pocket. So the full length is going to be 11 inches. 11 inches. You still place your pocket on fold. You place your fabric on fold to cut your pocket 11 inches. Then the breadth of the pocket is going to be 7 inches. So you trace it down, then you now curve it to meet the other part. So you start cutting. Mind you, this is one pocket. I'm trying to manage my fabric. This is one pocket. After this, I'm going to cut the second pocket. So I'm going to arrange my fabric in order for me to cut the second pocket. I'm going to put the first pocket on top of this fabric to be able to cut out the second pocket. So that is it. So onto the next is going to be the zip flap. So I'm done right now. I'm going to be cutting the zip flap right now. One is going to be on fold and the other is going to be not on fold, because the zip flap is going to is going to be 2. So I'm going to use this zip right now to measure the length, and I'm going to add like an inch above this zip for the zip flap. Then the depth of the zip flap is going to be 2.5. I'm using 2.5. So while I was filming this, I had an interruption. I couldn't film the cutting of the waistband. I couldn't film it, but the waistband, you're going to use like just 2 inches. You place your fabric on fold and then use 2 inches to cut it. You place your fabric on fold, use 2 inches, but the full length of the waistband is going to be your waist plus 5 to 7 inches, or rather just use your waist plus 7 inches in case of any excess. So I'm going to be doing another video of how to completely join a short on the machine, but that will be in another video. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you subscribe to my channel and click on the notification button to get my next video. Thank you. Bye.